Hello everybody and welcome to this tutorial on yet another opportunity to come and work for the EU institutions. We have published a competition to select translators, and as usual you will find on our website this infographic showing you the 5 steps to take to become a successful candidate. Now I will walk you through these different steps in the next few minutes. This competition is actually a set of 8 separate competitions, as you can see on this slide, to select translators into 8 different languages. Danish, Greek, English, Spanish, French, Italian, Maltese and Dutch are the 8 competition languages. And as a candidate, you need to select, or you need to choose one of these competitions. You can only apply for one of these 8. Now you see in the last column the number of successful candidates, and as you can see they're quite high numbers. So if you hesitate about this competition, I would say don't hesitate. There are of course eligibility criteria. Now you need to have a university degree of at least 3 years, which you have to have awarded by the 10th of April next year. You do not need professional experience on top of this, so you only need in fact a bachelor's university degree. This degree can be in any field. It is not restricted to linguistic fields, for instance. Now, of course, there are also language criteria. You need to master 3 languages, and you see the levels indicated in these 3 columns. So for the first language, which is the competition language, you need this language at level C2, and for your languages 2 and 3, you need a level C1. Now, these levels are indicative, meaning that you do not have to prove your level of your language when you apply. Just by sitting the tests in these various languages will prove us if you master the language at a level required for our staff. Now, as you can see here, if your competition language is English, then your second language can be any of the 23 remaining languages. Your third language again can be any of the 22 remaining languages. If, however, your competition language is French, then your second language must be English. For the third language, you have the choice among the remaining 22. And if your competition language is any of the remaining 6, then for the language 2, you can choose between English and French. And for the third language, you choose any of the remaining languages. Now, how does the selection procedure look? Everything starts with an application phase, of course. Then there is a testing phase, during which you will sit 5 different tests. Now, you will sit these tests over 2 separate days. You will sit these tests remotely, so from your home computer basically. You do not have to travel to a test center. You sit them from anywhere you want. And you will sit these tests in 2 separate days. So, for instance, in day 1 you will sit test 1 and 2, and in days 2 you will sit test 3, 4 and 5. We haven't decided yet on how we will divide these 2 testing days, but you will take these tests in 2 separate days, and they will be in the same month taken, these 2 tests. Once you've taken your tests, you will then be informed about your result, and when you are successful, you can then be offered a job as a translator in any of the recruiting bodies that need translators. Now, let's get into detail about all these different steps. As I said, everything starts with an application, so you need an EPSO account to be able to apply to a competition. You can do so on the website. Once you have an account, you can apply on the home page. You can fill out your application in any of the 24 languages, and you should do so by the 14th of January, Brussels noon. We will then also invite you to upload your supporting documents, basically your degree, by the 10th of April 2025. Once you have applied, you will be invited to these testing days. We start with testing your reasoning skills. This is a set of multiple choice questions where we assess your verbal, numerical and abstract reasoning skills. You sit this test in your language 1, so the competition language. You see the number of questions and duration offered there. You also see the scoring. The pass score is a pass-fail basis score, and you need to reach at least 22 out of 40 combined. So as soon as you have 22 out of 40, you stay in the running for a place on the list of successful candidates. As you can see, this is a combined score, which in theory means that you could, say, fail in one of these tests as long as you make up for your overall result by scoring better in the remaining tests. I suggest you have a look at our sample tests. You see the link here on this slide. This will give you a number of questions alike the ones you will get at the test, and this will give you an idea of the level of difficulty of these questions. Take into account there is a time factor involved, so you need to be able to solve these questions at a certain speed in the testing day. Through this link, by the way, you will find sample tests of every given test that you will sit over this competition. The second test is a language knowledge test. Again, language 1, again multiple choice, 25 questions in 25 minutes. This time your score will be ranked. This is important because you need to score as highly as possible, because we will only score the next 3 tests of those people who score as highly as possible. All right, again, you will find sample tests on the website. Mind you, you cannot use any dictionaries for this test and any other of the following tests. No dictionaries are allowed, none paper and none online either, of course. The following test is a language comprehension test. This time we test your comprehension of the 3rd language. Again, multiple choice. Again, pass-fail. So you need to reach at least 6 out of 12 to stay in the running for a place on the list of successful candidates. The 4th test then is a translation test, where you have to translate from language 2 into language 1, a text for which you get 1 hour to do so. Again, pass-fail, you need to reach at least 50 out of 100. The final test is a revision test, again from language 2 into language 1, so you get a text which has already been translated from language 2 into language 1, and you then have to revise it. You have 30 minutes to do so. Again, you need to reach at least 20 out of 40. So if we look at the scoring all over, how does it work? As said, the reasoning skills test is your first test that is being scored. You need to score at least 22 out of 40, if not you're out. The score as such does not count in the overall score. For the ones who pass this test, we start scoring the language knowledge test. You need to reach at least 13 out of 20, but again, here your scores will be ranked, and only the ones who have the highest ranked scores, of them we will score the 3 following tests, as said before. Okay, so it's important here to score very well. Then we start scoring the language comprehension test, the translation test and the revision test. You see the pass scores again on this slide. And then of course you need to score as highly as possible on this total of 152 points that you can maximum score. So the highest ranked people here will be the one that eventually end up on the list of successful candidates. And those are the people that then will be offered or will be contacted by the recruiting bodies and will be offered jobs in the different services. If you still have questions, I really suggest you read the notice of competition, which is the legal document explaining the whole competition. You find it on the competition page. Read it because it will probably answer most of your questions, if not all. If you still have questions, you can always reach out to us through our candidate contact service. You find a web form on our website to contact them, and we will answer you as soon as possible. Please also follow EU Careers on any of the social media channels you see listed below to stay updated on this competition and also on the future opportunities that we will offer. Good luck for this competition and see you around next time. Bye bye.